Hey guys, this is Stars at Dawn. So recently I was sitting down and talking with my friend Yashar Garzan about music. We were listening to some of our recent work. He was showing me some of his compositions. I was showing him some of mine. And he made a very fascinating comment. He said, "My music is great programmatic music." And of course, I don't have a formal musical education the way that he does.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And some of these terms are a bit too academic for me. So I asked him, well, what does that mean? And he explained that in classical European Western music, there is a paradigm, quite a controversial paradigm, between abstract and programmatic music, abstract or absolute music. Now, the programmatic music is a little bit like Disney music. In fact, it is often ridiculed in musical schools as Mickey Mousing. So if you think of early Disney movies, the music is always telling a story about what's happening. And in some cases, instead of having traditional Foley work, they use musical instruments to make the sounds of something, of someone walking, of birds flying, I don't know, whatever you can think of.
Thus.
So we talked about this topic a little bit more, and I thought, this is such an interesting concept. We should make a video about it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to sit down with Yashar, and we're going to chat about this concept of programmatic versus absolute music. Let's go. I think it's good. Nice. Oh, shit, fuck. So, explain a little bit about why you said my music was programmatic.
It's full of expressions, expressions that in academic music are called extra musical, or things that are outside of the music itself. So this can be like the expression of feelings, or the expression of colors. Like it can be very vague, like a color or a feeling, or something very specific, like maybe missing someone, or loving someone, or hating someone, or just like or it's even more specific, like someone, a lost person walking on a road of stones in the late evening with very bright stars, and everything, and all of that will be expressed just with music, not with an image, but with music. So that's what I meant when I said that your music is programmatic.
Interesting. So is it more, which one is more common in the universe? Is it more common to hear? I guess.
I would say programmatic music for sure. Most music throughout history and today is programmatic music. And from the very beginning, some of the most ancient rhythms are actually programmatic. The imitating the sounds of a horse, bum ba-da-dum 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 ba-da-dum, or imitating the sounds of a heartbeat, bum 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 bum. So many things are programmatic. Absolute music is almost, or absolute or abstract music is almost entirely unique to Western art music.
I see. And now, is it is abstract music or absolute music? Wait, which term is the correct one? Abstract or absolute?
Okay, so academically, absolute is the term that is more commonly used. I prefer to call it abstract music because to me, calling it absolute music for me is a little misleading. Abstract is, to me, makes much more sense. When looking at the definitions of the words, because abstract music, like abstract paintings, is like in an abstract painting, it may not be expressing a specific image, but maybe the use of the color and the brush strokes and the spacing, it's the beauty of the technique. And in abstract music, it's pretty much the same thing, that it's not expressing anything specific. It is the expression is purely in the structure, the technique, the sounds, the spacing, all of those things, but it's not expressing anything specific.
So is it, so okay. So would new complexity be abstract or absolute?
Okay, so I think it's very programmatic.
Okay.
I think it's there's a lot of images that come up to mind. Like I remember you showed me a piece where the string players were sliding very quickly up the strings, and to me that resembled leaping or jumping, or maybe even a flight. You know, so to me it's very programmatic. But yeah, to me it's programmatic for sure. There you could make an argument that it's abstract. I would disagree, but
Okay.
you could argue that it's abstract.
So it's interesting. So let's say that the intention was just to be abstract, but then of course, like with an abstract painting, it can still be evocative. So the viewer or the listener could create a story or create a feeling, right? So in that case, which one is it? Does it matter if does intention matter, or is it entirely how it's received?
Okay, that is that's tricky because it's I don't think it's yes or no. I think it's more like yes and no. I would say that for the artist, I think the intention matters for sure. But for the audience, the watcher, the listener, it's left to them. If they feel something, even if they listen to programmatic music, they might listen to it with an abstract ear. Or if they listen to abstract music, they might listen to it with a programmatic ear. I do that actually. I would listen to abstract music, and I would listen to it with a programmatic ear.
I think we're the same.
For sure.
Yeah, like
For sure.
I think storytelling is such an important part of art.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of abstract music. You know,
it is strange because it is, as I said, almost entirely unique to Western art music. And there are there's other kinds of music from other cultural traditions that you could argue is abstract, but it doesn't fit I don't think they can fit the definition very cleanly. Like for example, there's pieces of like religious music from all over the world, spiritual music, sacred music. You could argue that in a lot of those traditions, you could argue that it's abstract and not programmatic, but it's not abstract in the purest sense because it is trying to awaken a spiritual sense in you. It has this intention that is, you might say, extra musical. And there are many cultures that don't differentiate between the music and the spiritual, or the music and the sacred, the art and the sacred. So this idea of programmatic music and abstract music, that separation, that distinction, is also unique to Western art music. Most cultures, most musical traditions don't really differentiate it in that way, at least.
it sounds very scientific.
Indeed.
Like maybe post-industrial or post-enlightenment.
Oh, sure. For sure.
Okay.
And actually, absolute music, abstract music is in the classical period of Western art music. Most of that music is abstract music, absolute music. So, for example, a lot of Mozart, like symphonies, if you've heard symphonies from the classical period of Western art music, that's almost all abstract.
I see. And I remember you were saying that there's some kind of like elitism, or there's okay, so which one is it? Which is the elite one?
Abstract music or absolute music. And yeah, a lot of people look down in academic music circles. There's a looking down of programmatic music. This might have something to do with history. It's not very clear, but this might be historical because the Russians
Do you know how we keep warm in Russia?
Especially loved programmatic music. One of the greatest programmatic composers is Rimsky-Korsakov, and the Russians really loved programmatic music, and they did it mostly to separate from the Western European musical traditions, and so that might have something to do with it. It's not clear, but and Russia and Eastern Europe mostly, in that part of the world has been they've been ridiculed because that part of the world didn't really share the Enlightenment era with Western Europe, you know. So there's a lot of jokes about that. Like one joke is that if you ask a French person what they wish for their country, they would say, "I would wish for the beauty of the music of Gounod. I would wish for the cleverness of Molière, the playwright, and I would wish for the intelligence of Sartre."
Okay.
And then if you were to ask a German what they would wish for their country, they might say, "Oh, I would wish for the profundity of Goethe, the poet, the boldness of Beethoven, and the Jeez, this is a long joke, but basically it gets to the Russian. If you ask a Russian what they wish for their country, the joke is that the Russian would say, "Oh, I would wish for my neighbor's cow to die."
Okay.
So there's a lot of basically culturally the point there in that joke is that there's a lot of looking down into the Eastern European, because historically they did not share the Enlightenment era with Western Europe. So the distinction between programmatic music and the elitism of absolute music from Western Europe might have something to do with that. But even today, without that historical background, there's still this elitism with absolute music. It's believed that music is more pure.
I see.
This is better music because it's pure music. So yeah, it's this kind of understanding, and programmatic music today is also especially looked down upon. Even and the most common form of programmatic music today is in orchestral music is the soundtracks. Music soundtracks or video game soundtracks. Any soundtrack is technically programmatic music.
Oh, interesting.
But even now, the music is like less and less, and like it's less and less obvious in the programmatic nature of it. They always is finding it in the background. A lot of soundtracks feel indistinguishable from another soundtrack. It seems so hidden and diluted.
It's like every Marvel soundtrack.
for sure.
Except for the ones that use classic rock. They call it dad rock.
That's funny.
That is funny.
That's funny.
That's a joke that won't work in like 50 years.
For sure. Maybe Granddad Rock.
Granddad Rock, yeah.
But eventually it's gonna, the name of it will have to change for sure. But yeah, the soundtrack music and songs. Songs are always, if anything with lyrics is programmatic music. Yeah, for sure. If it's expressing a feeling, expressing an energy.
Interesting.
Anything that's expressing anything outside of just the music is programmatic music.
You know, I just thought of this. Did you ever watch Star Trek?
I have seen it. I'm not too familiar with it, but I have seen it before.
Did you ever watch Voyager? Star Trek Voyager? It's the worst of the...
I don't think so.
Well, actually, it's not the worst, but it's considered to be not as good as the first two or three series.
I'm not sure. If I see it, I might... If I've seen it before, and if I look at it, I might recognize it.
Well, there's an episode where the doctor goes to this planet, and the doctor is a hologram, and one of his hobbies is like they have these aliens next to touring the ship and singing right there. What do they take it over? And they're like, give us some music. What is it? They take it back. Is it a people algorithm? It just goes crazy. Is it a formula? Can you give us some music? So they take it. They want superstar. They want, and it just goes crazy. Superstar, right? And then he goes to the ship, and they want him to fall in love because it's a woman, and falls in love with the whole thing that happens doing melody. and then they say, well, it's good news. And they're like, yeah, he can do a better version of you. The tones he can do, and they have another hologram that looks like him, and Tracy starts singing stuff that's just like, so it's just like, they just like the math.
So
right?
basically with AI now. Just what AI is doing with these.
Well, so it's like they didn't care about the emotion or what it was saying. To them, it was just like a pure mathematical construct.
I see.
That was a very long. It was very long. Like
no
one wants to sit here and listen to me talk about Star Trek.
But that's an interesting point that you brought up for sure. I mean, it goes to show that even if you haven't heard these words, programmatic music, abstract music, absolute music, even if you haven't heard those words, you have heard it before. If you've ever listened to music in your life, you have heard this kind of music. You just might have not heard the name of it before, but you know what it is for sure. So that's an interesting thing to realize. I mean, all the things that we know inside, but like consciously we don't know. So it's just interesting that it's out there. You have to listen to it for sure.
Cool.
And you created program music without knowing the name of it. So it's like, there it is.
Well, I think, for me, I'm always trying to think of the story.
For sure.
Or like, where is this music from? And in the album I'm going to be releasing soon, long delayed, but coming very soon. I was trying to build. I called them soundscapes, or I said they were sonic landscapes. So I was imagining like a journey through this world. So yeah, very programmatic in my approach.
That's interesting that you give it another name like soundscape, because another word for a period in Western art music, programmatic music, was called tone poems.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
I have an entire folder on my computer called tone poems, and I had no idea.
That's so funny.
I had no idea. That's hilarious.
Really, really funny.
I'll open it up for you if you want.
Please, I'd love to see it.
Just as evidence. Right there. Oh, tone poems. But I'd never heard this before.
That's really funny.
That's hilarious.
That's really great.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. So, should we go and do some, play some examples, or?
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do some examples.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go right now.
Two lovers.
Keep going.
Two lovers forbidden from one another. The war divides their people, and the mountain divides them apart.
And then it goes, secret tunnel, through the mountains. Secret, 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 secret tunnel. Beautiful. Is that one abstract?
That's more like religious music.
Okay. So, what do you think we should do first?
I wouldn't mind starting with programmatic music.
Okay. Should we play together, or do you want to...
I think we can improvise something.
Improvise some programmatic music? So what's... okay, if we're doing programmatic, what's the story? What feeling or...
Okay. It can be something very elaborate, like something very specific, a specific image, situation, a narrative. Or it can be something as simple and vague as a feeling, a color, an energy. What do you feel like? I'm feeling like something specific.
Specific?
Yeah.
Let's do well, you what do you think?
Well, it's nighttime over here.
Okay. Nighttime. So it's nighttime.
Okay. But not spooky nighttime. There's how about a warm, comforting nighttime. It's winter, so it's winter in the night. It's winter now. It's nighttime now, and a warm feeling by a fireplace.
Okay, winter at night by a fire, and it's snowing. outside. It's like
yes.
It's a white winter.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So let's improvise something on that.
Sure.
What's the key of your harmonica?
This one is A. Yeah.
I can go for that.
All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think we got the feeling?
Sure. I think we captured some different elements, you know?
So it's interesting because I think you were playing the snow.
Yeah.
And I was playing the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, cool. Awesome.
Programmatic
Great.
is our jam. Yeah.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. We were even on the same page. That's hilarious. Okay.
That's really funny.
Now let's try abstract or absolute music.
Okay.
So improvising that kind of music, well, we see it a lot in jazz, actually, in modern jazz.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is abstract music, which is why it's often used as background music, because it's not expressing anything specific.
Right. Okay.
And it's just an exploration of the sounds and the harmonies and the tones. But we're not exactly jazz musicians.
I'm gonna have a hard time.
I'll struggle too. But how about we just explore harmonically a key? So this instrument is tuned to D major, but it can also play B minor. Those will be the two easiest keys for the tuning that it's on right now.
Oh God, let's see, B minor.
That's B minor.
Wait. Nice.
Nice.
So, how do you think we did? Do you think that was very absolute?
Well, me, I listen to all music with a programmatic ear. To me, I'm a huge sucker for programmatic music. To me, all music is programmatic music to me. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in the emotional sense, not in the academic sense.
Right. I also think, you know, of all the instruments we could have chosen, these are probably the worst ones. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Like using some of the most expressive instruments.
Right, and they're folk instruments.
For sure.
Harmonica and guzheng are both folk instruments, and they were very much developed for expressing stories and emotions.
For sure.
I think even in one of the basic techniques of guzheng is called like kuyin, right?
Oh yeah, and northern guzheng music is a
crying
noise. Mm-hmm.
And on harmonica, there's all kinds of things. There's like the, they call this like. They call that a train.
Nice.
And there's like, like crying. They talk about how it cries, the instrument cries. So, in some ways, we're working against, our tool.
In some ways, yes, but in a lot of other ways, no. Because abstract music, absolute music, can be very expressive. And it is very expressive, but the expression is in the music. So, for example, what we were doing, if we listen to it with abstract ears, and we were trying to make abstract music, it was basically just a study of, a basic study of the chord of B minor. Mm-hmm. And I supplied the B minor chord, arpeggiated in different ways to explore the musical aspect of it.
Right.
And you explored it melodically. Melody it can also be very abstract. For example, a lot of melodies from Mozart fall under the category of abstract music. What is that?
Somehow Mozart is...
That's abstract music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Mozart seems very abstract.
For sure.
But I mean, I guess the classical period was, as you mentioned, it's all, that's the heart of abstract music.
Very much.
Which is probably why it doesn't connect with I feel like of all the classical musical periods, the classical period of classical music is probably the one that people have the hardest time really connecting with.
Indeed.
Versus the Baroque or the Romantic period. Which one was Vivaldi in?
The Baroque.
The Baroque period. I love Baroque.
Oh, it's my personal favorite.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
I agree. So, all right, well, there you have it. That was us doing a little bit of programmatic and abstract music. And I don't know, if you think we nailed it, let us know. If you think we flopped, you can tell us. We did our best. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And also, I'm curious whether you think absolute music is even a thing. If you think one is better than the other, if you have a preference, if you have examples of either that you like. Leave those in the comments. It's a small enough channel I can look at all of your comments and reply. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.